Hi there, the weekend's finally here and the football's finally back.
Yes, it is, Matt. Brentford Arsenal, the first fixture of the 21-22 season, is just a matter of hours away.
And I'm the lucky boy who gets to soak it all up. Here is my front row seat in West London. We're going to hear from the players, the managers and, of course, the journalists in the know as well ahead of this exciting season opener. What are we? 9 hours until kick-off, and I'm not letting this seat out of my sight.
I don't blame you, Will. Now, we are at Chelsea after they broke their transfer record to bring a superstar striker Romelu Lukaku back home.
It's been a summer of big moves. Liverpool and Manchester United could still strengthen. And there's the small matter of the £100 million man, Jack Grealish. And perhaps most importantly of all, the fans are back. We find out why their return to stadiums will make this season an extra special one. But of course, the first round of Premier League fixtures get underway tonight. Brentford play Arsenal in the Friday night football. There is, of course, a massive game, the early kick-off on Saturday, Manchester United against Leeds. There is 5 games on at 3 o'clock. The standout one there, probably the European champions, Chelsea, hosting Crystal Palace. Yeah, then the late game on Saturday, the champions of the Championship, Norwich, got a tough start. They're entertaining Liverpool. Then Super Sunday, what a Super Sunday to start off with. Newcastle United against West Ham United, and then Tottenham Hotspur. Will Harry Kane play in that game against his suitors, the champions Manchester City? That's at 4:30. What a game. What a game. And breeze. Yes, we are back, and so too is everyone's favourite hashtag, PL fans. We want you to tell us what you're most looking forward to this weekend. So, Matt, I'm going to ask you, what are you most looking forward to this weekend? I'm going to be boring, Liv, and I'm going to say the top 4 race, because when you look at the top sides, they've all strengthened this year. The champions have strengthened. They might even get Kane as well. Liverpool have got Van Dijk back. Chelsea have got Lukaku. Man United have strengthened in areas they needed to strengthen in. I mean, it could be one of the all-time great top 4 races. It could be one of the all-time top 4 title races as well, which it would be great, wouldn't it, if it was to someone else other than Manchester City. But listen, I'm going to be at Stamford Bridge on Saturday to watch the European champions play for their first Premier League game against Crystal Palace. Will we see Romelu Lukaku, of course, signed last night for Chelsea officially? And I think that's the one that most Chelsea fans out there are looking forward to as well. Yeah, absolutely. £97.5 million. It's also difficult not to be excited about kick-off between Arsenal and the 50th and newest team to ever play in the Premier League, Brentford.
Brentford will play Premier League football next season.
We're in the Premier League? Yeah, that's right.
Brentford in the Premier League?
Nah.
We're just little Brentford.
Which is the Tin Pot bus stop in Hounslow. Nobody gives us a chance.
I never thought this day would come.
Now we've got the Arsenal.
Arsenal?
Who are they? We haven't played Arsenal in the league.
74 years.
Yeah, they've won the Premier League a few times.
That was ages ago.
I think Arsene Wenger was still wearing big coats the last time we did that.
I'm not scared of them.
I think we can beat them.
David Raya,
Pontus Janssen.
Ethan Pinnock.
Brian and Bummo.
Sergi Canos.
Ivan Toney.
It's the first game of the season.
London Derby.
Friday night.
Under the lights.
There's nothing finer.
I'm going to be there.
I'm going to be there.
I'm going to be there too.
Brentford versus Arsenal.
We go top of the league.
I am really, really looking forward to that game. Really excited to watch Brentford play in the Premier League. Yeah, me too, actually. I mean, it's the first game in the Premier League. It's also the first game in the top flight since 1947. It is going to be some occasion at the Brentford Community Stadium. I bet you the atmosphere is already building there. Well, luckily for us, Will Perry is pitchside right now. What's it like there, Will?
Hello, Matt. Yes, welcome to the Brentford Community Stadium here in West London. It's all a little bit like the calm before the storm, but these Brentford fans so excited, and in just a few hours' time they are going to be piling through the gates here at this shiny new stadium, which, you know, only a few of them have got to see so far. There's been 3 games where they've allowed fans in, but it's going to be a sellout here tonight against Arsenal. And look at this, we were that cheeky, we even got them to stick Premier League Today up on the big new screen there on the side by the M4 motorway. So look, we're in full control here. But as you say, Matt, it's the first time that they've been in the top flight for 74 years. The first match in the top division since actually they played against Arsenal in 1947, just a couple of years after the Second World War, a long, long time ago. Brentford are in the big time. Let's hear from the players. Well, Ivan Toney we're going to hear from in a second, but the managers as well, starting with a lovely little analogy from the Brentford boss, Thomas Frank.
I think we are not only a bee, we are a bumblebee. We are not designed to fly, but anyway, we are flying, and we're actually flying directly into the Premier League, and we are really looking forward to keep flying. We will do our very best to attack and have a positive-minded approach throughout the campaign. That is the approach from the start.
They worked so hard and they've done an incredible job as a club, the coaching staff and the players after to get fully deserved promotion, I think, for what they've done over the years. And now they're going to have to enjoy and compete in this league. And we know that we're going to face a really difficult opponent, but we're going to be difficult as well. And we want to win, of course, our first match.
It sounds crazy. It sounds crazy, but listen, I think we've worked hard for it the season before, and it's fully deserved. So we just got to take in our stride, and we can't wait for the first game of the season to kick off.
And joining me here, pitchside, Billy Grant, who's from Beesotted, the Brentford podcast, vlog and blog and everything you do for the club. And, of course, Jay Harris, who writes for The Athletic, reporter for The Athletic, covering Brentford. Welcome to you two. Got to start with you, because as a Brentford fan, excuse the pun, you must be absolutely buzzing for tonight.
Tell you something, buzzing is not the word. I've been supporting them for 40-odd years. You know, the old stadium that we had, Griffin Park, was literally just about a mile down the road there. So I used to walk down London Road there, go to the stadium, bunk over the turnstiles, even though when you're a kid. So you've got all the memories back in the day, you know, but we were playing lower league football as it was, you know, Division 2, Division 1, 4th tier, 3rd tier. You know, we got to the 2nd tier, places like Accrington Stanley, you know, Grimsby, you know, Newport County, places that are sort of far flung in the UK. But I used to love going to those places because that's where we come from. Like, you know, it's like street, that's like our home, you know. But 10 years ago, you know, Matthew Benham put some money into the club. Great guy, Brentford fan through and through, but he had a really clever way that he was going to take the club up to another level by buying players, using the knowledge that he had to buy new players. And so we started to get better and better. And all of a sudden it's like, listen, you know, we're going up a league, we got to the Championship, but we never thought, I've got to be honest with you, I never thought that we're going to actually get to the Premier League. Because this is a hard hurdle, and especially for a club like us. And the way the system is at the moment now, with so much money, the top level of the Premier League, clubs that get relegated get rewarded for being relegated so that they can stay and go back up again. So teams like us, we're never meant to go up. We're not meant to go up at all. So the fact we did it against the grain has made me very proud as a Brentford fan.
Yeah, look, Jay, touch on that, because it's a really interesting model, isn't it, that Billy mentioned, the way the club is run. A lot of people around the world watching would have seen the film Moneyball and the baseball sort of statistical analysis of how they sign players, and that's what they do here.
Yeah, I've been warned off using the term Moneyball by the Brentford fans, as you can see from the eyes.
You want?
No, their recruitment model's so intelligent, you know. Like Billy touched upon, it's so hard to get into the Premier League, and I think we kind of have to admire the approach that Brentford have taken over the last few years to just attack it in a completely different way. And there's so much intelligence involved in the way that they scout players. You know, they look through a lot of divisions where traditional Premier League clubs and traditional Championship clubs they're not interested in those leagues. So the Danish Super League has been a great hunting ground. The German second division, it's been absolutely amazing. You know, Johan Visser, who they just signed from Lorient. I asked Thomas Frank the other day.
Not Leighton Orient, by the way, there's Lorient.
Lorient, shall we say. I spoke to Thomas Frank in the press conference on Wednesday. Said, how long were you scouting him for? And he said, I first started speaking to him May 2020. And that was when he was playing in League 2. The French League 2, I'm not going to try to do the accent for that. So it just gives you an idea of how in-depth they go into scouting all these players.
Yeah, tell us about the style of play then, Billy, and what we can expect to see from Brentford in the Premier League, and how you think they're going to fare against the big guns, and one of them coming tonight in Arsenal.
So we play, you know, as people say, we play passing football, okay? We play expansive football. We like to play the ball out from the back, you know. And this is one of the things, again, when Matthew Benham came in, when he first started at Brentford years ago, he said, I'm going to change the style beforehand in the lower leagues, it's hoofing the ball up. But then we put the ball out there, Uwe Rosler came in, I mean, he had a phrase said, pass them to death, like, you know. And it was hard for us fans initially, seeing the hoofball, because we're like, no, just kick the ball up there. So we pass the ball out, we play some great football, and all of a sudden the players that we bring in are adapted to play that style of football as well. we'll be playing with, we'll either be 3 at the back, or we'll be 4 at the back, so we like to play with the wing backs, and the wing backs are very, very important to us. Rico Henry, we say, is the best left back in the Championship last season as well, you know what I'm saying? So seeing him bombing down the wings, playing like with the winger interaction and stuff to play like that, honestly, the football that we play is really great. But, talking about the players that we bought in as well, we bought in a few new players. Obviously, Beesotted coming in, whether or not he'll play tonight, I'm not sure. But, people like, we've got this Frank the Tank Onyeka. Yeah. We've just got him in from FC Michelin. Again, a lot of people have never heard from him, but what I've seen is a Duracell bunny type player, and he's going to bring a little bit of energy to the Brentford play as well. Because sometimes last season we were lacking a bit of energy to pick the play up. So the fact that you've got someone who could win for 90 minutes, you know what I'm saying, scored a goal as well on Saturday, down just over that goal over there as well. And he was only on for about 15 minutes. He's got his own song already, so we're going to be very excited about Frank the Tank Onyeka.
And look, and I'm sure another player that the Brentford fans could be really fond of is Christopher Ayer, who we've mentioned, and a record signing, £13.5 million from Celtic. He's 6'6". He's that much smaller than Peter Crouch. He's a tall fella. But look, the name that is on everyone's lips is Ivan Toney, because we saw what he did in the Championship, the top goal scorer. Billy wants to lock him up in a cage down there just to keep all the other teams away from him, because come January, if he starts the way that he ended last season, there are going to be big teams sniffing around. 6 years ago today, he was in the Newcastle reserves. Didn't really get a look in terms of Premier League football. Was told he wasn't good enough, and he's proved everyone wrong.
Yeah, I had the opportunity to interview Ivan for The Athletic a couple of weeks ago, and first of all, I think the thing that shines through more than anything else is his confidence and his self-belief, which I'm sure Billy would agree with, and also is a very, very friendly guy. But I was kind of talking to Ivan about his journey, and he said that playing in League 2, League 1 for Barnsley, Peterborough, Shrewsbury, not Barnsley, sorry, Scunthorpe, was the making of him. And I think as a young boy, he played for your hometown club, Northampton. On his debut for the club, he kept them in the league. He gets spotted by Newcastle, he moves to Newcastle, and he's had to drop back down. That's even the making or breaking of a player like that. And he's gone absolutely supernova off the back of it. He won the League 1 Player of the Year. He breaks the Championship goal scoring records. So all these people who are asking me, is he going to be able to do it? I've got 110% belief that Ivan Toney's going to absolutely rip it up this year.
Billy, in one word, are you staying in the Premier League?
Yep, 100%. Listen, we're going to be here. We're so happy to be here, okay? But also, we've been waiting for this a long time. Those guys there have been planning this.
Yeah.
The boss has been planning this big time, so they know what to do. We're just stepping it up again, so trust me, we're going to be here next year.
There we go. Look, we're already putting the pressure on. They haven't even started the Premier League season, and I'm asking questions like, are they staying in the league? There we go. That's Jay and that's Billy, and we're, under 9 hours until Arsenal come to the Brentford Community Stadium. We're kicking off the Premier League season here in West London.
Thank you very much, Will. I love the confidence there.
I'm a believer now after listening to those guys. A believer.
I love it, a believer. Listen, you might have seen, we have got a bit of breaking news. You would have seen it come across the bottom of your screen below. This one is for the Liverpool fans, because Virgil van Dijk has signed a new contract which keeps him at the club until 2025. Now, of course, they missed him so much, that awful injury last season. They'll be so happy to have him back in the side this year, and even happier that they will have plenty more years of Virgil van Dijk at the heart of their defence. Well, his Liverpool side face Norwich, of course the champions of the Championship last season. Daniel Farke gaining promotion, having been relegated the season before. Now 6 points was the difference between them and Watford. Their new manager Xisco's guided them back to the big time, and Rob Scanlon is at Vicarage Road